What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Colin Beazley here, sitting in my hotel room in Kansas City, where the Pirates are about to begin a three-game series against the Royals. They play Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, off day on Thursday before three more road games in Minneapolis against the Twins. I'll have you covered for all of those right here on the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Before we get started with the topic of today's video, I want to give you guys another reminder, as usual, to, if you haven't already, to subscribe to the PG Pirates YouTube channel. Very, very appreciative of everyone who has subscribed already. And you can see all of our work on post-gazette.com. Myself and Noah Hiles cover this team home and away every single game this season. We've got all sorts of good insight ahead of the trade deadline, ahead of the upcoming MLB draft next weekend, ahead of the futures game. Had a lot of good coverage on Esmeralyn Valdez, on Connor Griffin, as well as some insight on Ben Cherington and what he's planning on doing ahead of this trade deadline, what the Pirates are targeting, and even some potential trade partners. We've written about that as well. Also on post-gazette.com, we have coverage of every single Pittsburgh sports team, coverage of the Steelers, coverage of the Penguins, coverage of Pitt, coverage of anything going on in this city's sports. And we also have coverage of things that aren't just sports, government, politics, arts and culture, everything that is important to you guys in Pittsburgh, we write about. So highly, highly recommend subscribing to the Post-Gazette, post-gazette.com. Topic of today's video is talking about what in the world just happened in Seattle. The Pirates, and I say this without hyperbole, the Pirates just had the worst offensive series they've had in franchise history. This was low. This was a absolutely disaster of an offensive series that they had in Seattle. The Pirates were outscored by the Mariners 8-0 in a three-game series. They scored 0 runs. They lost 1-0 twice. And there are a whole ton of offensive stats that just frankly have to be heard to be believed. A lot of these were in Noah's story yesterday, which you can read on post-gazette.com, his 3 takeaways. But without further ado, let's just get into those stats, and they're frankly unbelievable. First and foremost, the Pirates failed to score a run in a series of 3 or more games for the first time since 1888, when they were known as the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. I'll just read that one again because it's unbelievable. The Pirates failed to score a run in a series of 3 or more games for the first time since 1888, when they weren't even the Pirates. They were the Pittsburgh Alleghenies. It was the first time that the Pirates have been blanked in 3 straight games of a series of any length since 1959, when they were held scoreless in the first 3 contests of a 5-game set against the Milwaukee Brewers. Excuse me, not even the Brewers at that point. The Milwaukee Braves. Three consecutive shutouts for the Pirates. The Pirates struck out 36 times throughout their dreadful weekend in Seattle and only drew 4 walks. 3 of those walks came in the Friday's series opener. So that's 36 strikeouts, 4 walks. Just not a metric that is going to do very well for any team, let alone one struggling like the Pirates are. Pirates had 1 extra base hit in the entire series, and that was a Nick Gonzalez double in the first inning of Friday's series opener. The final 26 innings of their series in Seattle did not have a single extra base hit. The team had 11 hits over the 3-game series. That's less than 4 games. 10 of the 11 hits were singles. Series-long shutout marked the first time in franchise history that the Mariners had ever done that. This is their let me try and do some math here. They've been playing baseball for 48 years. They've existed since 1977. This is the first time they've ever shut out a team for an entire series. And just not even historically, but this season, Sunday's shutout loss was the 13th of the season for the Pirates. So the 11, 12, and 13 over the series. That's the most of any club in the majors. And Sunday's loss was the 6th time this season where the Pirates were swept in a 3-game series. 4 of those 6 sweeps occurred on the road. It's was simply a really, really bad offensive series. I could get into the individual players and how so-and-so player struggled, but really pretty much everyone struggled. I know Spencer Horwitz had the only 2 hits on, I believe, Friday. Everyone else didn't have any hits. Tommy Pham had a 2-hit game. There just wasn't very much offense to think about. I want to talk a little bit more about the series that they had going into that, and just to hone in on the struggles that they had, or how they were playing really good baseball right before the struggles. But first, a quick word from our sponsor, Greenwald Roofing.
Hey, Pittsburgh. When you think of great roofs, you think Greenwald Roofing Company. With over 20 years experience, Greenwald knows your roof is your home's first line of defense from rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Greenwald Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust that their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Greenwald Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenwaldroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 to schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262.
I think there are 2 extremely frustrating parts about this offensive series, and there are really even 3, just because not scoring a run in an entire series is incredibly frustrating to begin with. But the 2 things that make this one sting a little bit more than if this had, say, happened anywhere is, number 1, how good the starting pitching was yet again. Paul Skenes was very, very good, and Mike Burrows had one of the best starts of his major league career, if not the best start of his major league career on Saturday. He was excellent in that 1-0 loss. He continues to get better. His changeup looks filthy. He looks like a legitimate major league starter. He battled against Luis Castillo, who was a legitimately good pitcher. And Paul Skenes was Paul Skenes on Sunday after that All-Star nod. He was really, really good. It's not like over that 3-game stretch, the Pirates starting pitching or really pitching at all struggled. Obviously, Friday's 6-0 loss was not the pitching we've been accustomed to seeing out of that team, but it's not like the starting pitching was the issue there. What makes this one even more frustrating is just how well the Pirates had played in the 6 games leading up to that. They looked like they finally had a little bit of momentum going 6-0 on that homestand. They swept the Mets, they swept the Cardinals, and in fact, in that Cardinals series, they did exactly what the Mariners just did to the Pirates. They shut the Cardinals out for 3 entire games. The pitching was excellent. The pitching continued to be excellent with those 2 1-0 losses over the weekend. It's just the offense was unable to continue any success they've had. I'll leave you with one last stat from Opta Sports. Opta Sports found out that this was the first time ever that a major league team had shut an opponent out for an entire series and then immediately turned around and gotten shut out themselves. What to make of that? I don't entirely know. It's just amazing how quickly any team can go from being the top dog to being right back on the bottom and to once again looking like the Pirates we've seen throughout this entire season. I'll have you covered from Kansas City and Minneapolis. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.